I'm William Kumwembe with Business Time. This is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And coming up in the program today, we speak with the Reserve Bank of Malawi governor on recent monetary policy committee decision to slash policy rate and expectations going forward. We have this and other stories. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. In our main story in the program today, last week the Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of Malawi announced to have slashed its policy rate to 24% from 26%. This comes 2 years after the rate cut was effected in 2024. The policy rate cut comes at the back of lowering headline inflation to 24.9% in January 2026 from 27.7% in the last quarter of 2025. The country has seen an ease in inflationary pressure within the past months thanks to lowering food prices, especially maize, which weighs heavily in the consumer price index, a basket used for computing inflation. But would this be sustainable, or is it one of those seasonal trends? These are some of the questions journalist Chimwemwe Mangazi posed to Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor George Partridge.
Well, we have modestly reduced or cautiously reduced interest rates, and we think that the commercial banks are also going to follow suit because that is really the reference rate or the policy rate. So in the next few days, we are expecting reactions from commercial banks. It is a process, but we have to have a working formula and a target. So the target is 2028, really. And we think that with the trajectory of the way the economy is being managed, especially on the fiscal side, in terms of the fiscal discipline, if it is sustained, then it is very likely that we will achieve that level. Or if we don't achieve that, but I believe we will achieve it, but if you don't achieve that, certainly single digit. Yeah, the equation is on both sides. The major problem at the moment is actually the supply side. It's not the demand management. The demand we can do. We can do with monetary policy. We can do with other things, other tools. But the major issue is now, how do we stimulate supply? And part of the issue of stimulating the supply side is actually the policy rate issue. Of course, it has to go with other measures as well, so that the policy rate is also a credible rate and it doesn't go below the inflation rate. Because if it does, then the whole macroeconomic environment is also distorted. The issue of money supply is well looked after, that the supply side is also stimulated. But we are hoping, and this is a problem for the whole world and not only just for Malawi, because there was a supply chain disruptions, etc., and then the fuel price increases. But we think that this is just noise in the medium term, it is just noise, it is just a blip. In the long term, this will restore itself, just like we have seen the other wars. At the instigation or at the time that they start, these things do happen, but you see them receding as time goes on. If you see fiscal discipline, if it's sustained, and if domestic borrowing is restrained, then you see the fruits of that through the demand for treasury bills going down. And when the demand for treasury bill goes down, then that means also the yields are going down. And if the yields go down, that means the policy rate may also go down. So I think that's the trajectory. But the issue is to sustain the discipline that is there now. And I think for the last 3 or 4 months, you have seen that there is actually discipline in terms of government expenditure. I think the major issue is, where is that inflation coming from? And we all know that these are the blimps and noises that we referred to earlier on. You'll recall that there were 2 fuel price increases. I can't remember now, the other one 30-something percent, the other one 41%. So these 2 have caused the non-food inflation to go up. And then there was the tariff electricity tariff, I think it went up by 12%. These are the things that caused the non-food inflation to go up. But whilst they have gone up, these will be, I think, they will be the base next time around. So that in terms of inflation, you are actually starting from that base going upwards. So this is just a blimp along the road to the 5% rate target that we have stated. Well, the Ways and Means is also regulated by law, so that the government doesn't overspend, doesn't overborrow on the Ways and Means. So when you see government not borrowing quite a lot from treasury bills, let's be assured that on the Ways and Means also it is down, because that is the real last resort. So why do you go to the last resort if money is available in treasury bills?
The Malawi Mining Company, Mamiko, and the Department of Mining have challenged Parliament to allocate more financing if the country is to start mining with local involvement. Mamiko has been allocated in the budget just 19% of the required 174 billion kwacha, while the Department of Mining faces a 117 billion kwacha deficit in their planned budget. Both purpose is several exploration and equipment investment that would lead to the country to exploitation of the mineral resources. Now, chairperson of the cluster, Daone Henry, expressed her frustration over the country's delays in taking charge of the mining sector, which has been left in the hands of the foreign companies, and vowed to push for increased financing.
So today we had the Minister of Energy and Mining. We were checking on the budgets for 2026, 2027, but also we were appreciating what they have done so far in the fiscal year 2025-2026. What I can say that as Malawi, we still have got a long way to go, because we found so many gaps in the priorities that were supposed to be done both in energy but also in mining. So combining the two, you've seen us making recommendations that they must bring back some information that was not in the presentation, and we have recommended for a few changes both in energy but also a good focus and priorities in mining, because it's so worrisome that a lot of things are not there on the ground. We are being told things that are not on the ground. So as mining, we've really recommended that they should list down the priorities that they're planning for 2026, 2027. As you've heard, they don't have any data on the minerals that we have, the quantities, the quality, all that. They don't have specific information. They rely on the information that we're being given by investors. So we're saying that 2026, 2027, their focus should be exploration. If they are to be given funding, the funding should be channeled towards exploration, benchmarking, and making sure that they've got the capacity now to say proudly that we are doing mining in Malawi. In the Department of Mining, much as it is our focus right now as a country, it's a hope for Malawians, it's a hope for Malawi, and it's a focus for the president, because that's the only way out Malawi will get bailed out of the forex issues, the economic challenges. So the funding that they're looking for, we're saying that is way too much. They're being over ambitious, because with the economic challenges that we have right now as Malawi, we cannot ministry cannot be able to finance them with all the money that they're asking for. So we're saying they should come up with the priorities and make sure that the priorities should be channeled only towards the establishment of mining. As Malawi, we should be able to have our own information, not depending on the investors' information. So the 114 billion that they are asking for, it's way too much, looking at items that they're looking for. But just in a nutshell, I would say that we'll still wait, because we've told them to go back and bring us adequate information and priorities of what they want, and then the summations will come from there. I'm sure when they're coming back, they'll have a different figure. Mamiko much as we appreciate that it's a government vehicle in investment in regards to mining issues, but they seem to be losing their focus and their mandate. You heard us saying that they're focusing so much in exploration. As an investment company, their focus should be on investment, how Malawi will gain, how they will do the negotiations with different investors and interested parties, rather than telling us that they want to do exploration. Exploration is out of their mandate. And we're saying, as Mamiko, they came also, they had the list of the also things that they want to be funded. And we feel like it's not necessary at the time being. They have to wait, and they should make sure that also they should be channeled towards a focused future, not just being everywhere, being all over, because what they're trying to do is to be all over. They really don't know their mandate. So we say that if they don't know their mandate, then the Mamiko thing should stop up until Malawi get established properly in terms of mining issues.
Remember, this is Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And my name is William Kumwembe. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and moving on with the program. The Reserve Bank of Malawi Deputy Governor for Economics and Regulations, Henry Matanga, has said connecting academic research with the financial sector is critical for growth and development. He was speaking recently in Blantyre during a prize presentation ceremony to winners of the inaugural Credit Data Credit Reference Bureau Research Redefined Research Challenge. The competition was aimed at advancing financial inclusion through practical academic research among university students.
Chavula said the initiative aligns with the National Credit Reporting Policy and financial inclusion objectives.
Initially, when the business development team had brought it up, we didn't know what to expect. But now, looking at the outcome, I think we have achieved something great, and it has created a lot of opportunities for the students involved. And I think we are very, very satisfied as well. It now allows the public to see what the CRP is, why we exist, why it is necessary for us to exist in the industry, and we have seen a lot of returns. The participation from the students as well, we have seen that a lot of students are starting to take interest, and I think this is an eye-opener for those who want to engage in future in such events, because it does help the financial sector grow and learn from what is happening in these events. I think we're doing pretty well on that. We've had a few initiatives. So what our management team has in place is that the business development team constantly has research activities that are ongoing throughout the year. So there are many, many events that take place. I think we have come very far. We have seen a lot of involvement by the public, in terms of their understanding of what the Bureau is. And so when you speak of financial inclusion, I think the services that we provide have allowed financial institutions to trust the consumers more, and therefore they've been able to open up and allow people to access credit. So I think that as a Bureau we are having an impact on that, and we are contributing quite a lot.
Reserve Bank of Malawi Deputy Governor Henry Matanga commended the initiative, describing it as a milestone in connecting academia with the financial sector.
Financial inclusion is something that the country is pursuing. We need to make sure that all those that are unsaved out there, they need to be included in the financial system. So this exercise that Credit Data CRB Limited has done is an important exercise, because it's part of the process of making sure that everybody within the country is financially included in the financial system. Of course, obviously, it depends on what the research papers are saying, but essentially what we are saying, like the first winner is talking about financial inclusion for women, for youth, and everybody else out there. So that is obviously very important because if we're talking about financial inclusion, it means we have to be talking about youth, women, and everybody else that is out there and they are not yet saved by the financial system. But this exercise is going to help in making sure that they are financially included, businesses, individuals. And the information that the bureaus collect from within the country and then he processes it and he shares it with the commercial banks when they need it is very important because it helps the commercial banks in credit underwriting. Credit underwriting is a process where commercial banks really have to assess whether someone who wants to borrow money is credit worthy. And the information that the bureaus provide is important in that respect because it helps the commercial banks to know whether those people that are borrowing money really are credit worthy. And the Reserve Bank is interested in this exercise because it's part of making sure that the financial system is safe and sound.
MUBA student Thokozani Maini held the initiative as a valuable platform for applying theory to real-world challenges.
For you, just to maybe, for example, for you to go far in life, at least you have to take challenges, and also you have to be bold enough and confident in yourself, despite of the level that you are, the age that you are, or whatever or family background that you're coming from. But then this acts as a motivation to us as and also as a symbol to other students across Africa, not only Malawi, to explore some research challenges and to explore like the financial boundaries marked here in Malawi.
The competition highlighted the role of research as a bridge between academia and economic development in Malawi.
Now, in other business news, marketing and communications agency Mirage PR has said women in small and medium enterprises can achieve more if given the right platforms and opportunities to grow. Mirage PR Managing Director Efrida Chigwe said this on the sidelines of an SME clinic held as part of the International Women's Day Expo 2026 in Blantyre. Benedetta Chuandamia was there and has filed this report.
The International Women's Day Expo, organized by Mirage PR, provided a platform to celebrate and empower women across Malawi. The 2026 edition, held in Blantyre, featured the Women of Impact Breakfast, an SME clinic for rising entrepreneurs, and a business expo, platforms that combined recognition, enterprise support, and high-level engagement. Mirage PR Managing Director Efrida Chigwe said women have the capacity to significantly contribute to the economy when given the right platform to network and access opportunities for their growth. Chigwe said the agency is working to achieve this by creating a platform for women to come together and celebrate the strides they are making in various industries, and also create links with potential partners, investors, and customers.
We are providing a platform for them to get access to leadership skills as well as financing opportunities. Along with the theme, we're also creating a platform for mentors to meet possible mentees that they can support through their growth journey. And this is across all women, so those in employment and those that are creating enterprises. I think it's very important to be able to meet, to have these type of conversations. We read about women, we see them on TV, we see them in the streets, but we don't get the opportunity to ask what it took to get to that position. And just learning from other people's lessons and mistakes is very valuable because it helps us save time when we avoid our own. But it's also always easier when you've got somebody who can hold your hand through the journey.
One of the sponsors, Nico Group, through Nico Asset Managers Business Development Officer Vanessa Chidani, described the event as beneficial and reaffirmed the group's commitment to supporting initiatives aimed at empowering women.
We knew that this would be an event where we're going to have a lot of women who have small to medium businesses. That is also part of our clientele, and it is very beautiful to invest in those people, to let those people come to such places where they can interact with other people, where they can gain more knowledge and information about these things so that they're able to better their businesses. Because as our customers are doing better, so are we. So we knew that as we're giving back to the community, we're also just investing overall in the health of Malawi as a country.
During the expo, the agency provided free exhibition space to women-owned SMEs drawn from various sectors, including ICT, agriculture, fashion, communication, construction, medicine, and the financial sector, to showcase their work and businesses to potential customers and investors. The Blantyre Expo marks the second event that Mirage PR has held, following its launch in 2025.
Well, with that story, also we've come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country here on Times Television. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. Thank you for watching, but always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Stay safe and goodbye for now.